Hi, my name is Melissa van Dijk, and in this video we are heading into the ordinary skincare routine that's suitable for acne and aging concerns. So I have prepared for you one daily morning skincare routine as well as two evening skincare routines which you would use on alternate nights. So for the morning skincare routine, this is the setup right here. Now you can see the individual products which are already in the correct order of application, and the only product that you're going to rinse off is going to be your cleansing step. Doesn't matter if it's going to be in your morning skincare routine or evening skincare routine, your cleansing step is there to help you to wash your face, and then you're going to rinse it off. Take a clean towel and gently pat all over to remove the excess water from the skin surface. And it would be ideal to use a non-exfoliating acid cleanser, so use a regular cleanser that's suitable for your skin type. Then any other treatments that you're going to use after your cleansing step are going to be leave-on treatments. This is often quite confusing, therefore I'm emphasizing it now right away. So if you're going to follow your morning skincare routine after your cleansing step, you're going to leave those products on the skin for the entire day, and when it comes to your evening skincare routine, you would leave those products on the skin for the entire night. So we're now breaking down the morning skincare routine. So I have already explained to you the cleansing step. Then again, I want to quickly emphasize it is important to remove the excess water from the skin surface to make sure that the following products that you're going to leave on the skin will layer properly. Otherwise you can come across pilling or even a dry or tight feeling because you're going to mix it with the water, which is something that you should avoid. Then when it comes to the first treatment, you can see it right here. This can be the ordinary ascorbic glucoside solution, which is a vitamin C derivative, or either both or just one of them, the ordinary niacinamide serum. Now, I primarily picked them to help you to lighten the dark spots that you can get after your active acne is gone, so that you achieve a more even complexion. Additionally, they do have both anti-aging benefits as well, and niacinamide does also help to regulate your oiliness. So you can go ahead and pick either one of them or maybe use both. When working with both or either one of them, what's important to keep in mind is how much product you're going to use. So you have below that the general guide. So when it comes to the serums right here, it mentions 3 to 5 drops for your face and neck. So this should usually be enough for your entire face and neck to apply it evenly and thinly all over. Please do not overdo it. Those are treatments that have a certain percentage of active ingredients in it, and the more you're going to use of it, the more likely you can come across sensitivity, and you may just overuse the treatment itself, which the skin does not need. So you're just going to add too much to it. So therefore use it sparely. Just make sure that you can evenly apply it all over, and it should be able to absorb quickly into the skin since both are water-based serums. So usually waiting between 30 seconds to a minute in between should be long enough before you then are heading into the next step. Then, when it comes to the next step, I want to include the ordinary natural moisturizing factors, not only to help us to hydrate the skin and restore the skin barrier, but also to give us a bit of slip before we are applying the ordinary azelaic acid suspension to the skin, because the ordinary azelaic acid suspension is quite rich in dimethicone. So when using it on its own, or let's say when applying it to the skin and it isn't hydrating enough or does not give you a nice slip, it can be quite difficult to spread out. And then you may tend to use a bit more of the azelaic acid suspension, rather than if you're going to use the moisturizer like before that, you're going to just use a bit of it and you are able to blend it out easily. So therefore I want to include it. I did not include it as an optional step. I highly recommend using it in between. And then you can see that the waiting time is going to change a slightly bit because the texture of our treatment is going to change as it is a cream. So wait between 1 to 2 minutes for the moisturizer to absorb, to set, and then head into the ordinary azelaic acid suspension, which helps to brighten the skin, regulates oiliness, and it helps to produce healthier skin cells in the pores itself, which can be extremely beneficial if you have acne prone skin, because having an unbalanced skin cells, the overall production of oil, if it isn't functioning correctly, or even clogged pores, can really help you to reduce your acne if you're going to work with azelaic acid. And so then again, you're going to apply it evenly all over, and then make sure to give it a moment in between, as I mentioned right here, and then head into your sunscreen. Now, when it comes to the sunscreen, you do notice that I've picked the Ordinary one as well as Nyote. And both are mineral sunscreens, and I primarily went with mineral sunscreens since we're already dealing with acne-prone skin. So chemical sunscreens can influence your hormones because they can interact with the living skin cells, which then may create more acne. It doesn't have to happen, depends on what's being used, but I want to emphasize it. Therefore, to reduce that risk of experiencing more acne, I went with mineral sunscreens, which are also important to use if you have sensitive skin. So if you have acne-prone skin, your skin can already be a bit more sensitive as it is quite inflamed, and depending on the treatments that you're using or have been using in the past can make the skin sensitive as well. Therefore, working with a mineral sunscreen is something that I can highly recommend. So I went with the Ordinary one, which is more like of a cream-like texture, and it does leave a white cast or gray cast, or go with Nyote Survivor 30, which is like a serum-like texture. It's very thin in texture and has a light natural tint so they can reduce the white cast. So if you want to see the application of the sunscreen, I'm going to leave it in the top right corner. But once you have applied your sunscreen all over, it's important to do this as your last step in your morning skincare routine before sun exposure. So you want to make sure to protect the skin from the damaging UV rays. And then this is going to be the entire daily morning skincare routine. Now again, I want to remind you, below you have the general guide. You can go ahead and adjust it a slightly bit if you should feel the need, using like 1 or 2 drops more or less if you have a larger or smaller face. But overall, please do not overdo it. Again, we are working with treatments that have a high concentration of active ingredients. Then, when it comes to the first evening skincare routine, we are going to work with an exfoliant, which you're going to use on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And then on the other days, you're going to alternate between the exfoliant as well as your retinol or Granactive retinoid, which you then would use on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and or Sunday. Now, this is just an example of a frequency so that you can see what it can look like throughout the entire week. So you would use on Monday the exfoliant, on Tuesday your retinol or Granactive retinoid, and so forth. If over time or already in the very beginning that frequency should be a bit too much for you, you can always adjust it and reduce it and use those products less often. So I want to point this out as well. What's important to keep in mind for both evening skincare routines when it comes to the first cleansing step right here is that if you have picked a mineral sunscreen, as I have emphasized in the morning skincare routine, it is important that you're going to use an oil or balm cleanser to properly break it down, because your regular cleanser won't be able to take it off. You're just going to create a mess. Therefore, I've emphasized the oil or balm cleanser as well. You can use that one on its own, or you may want to do a double cleanse, and you have the entire guide below, as well as some example cleansers that you can look into. Then again, make sure to remove the excess water from the skin surface by gently patting all over, and then head into your exfoliant. So with salicylic acid, that one helps remove the dead skin cells, unclog pores, regulates oiliness, and has anti-inflammatory properties, which are the points that we need if we have acne-prone skin. Now, I want to quickly emphasize that when it comes to a treatment like salicylic acid, or in general with acne treatments, they can always help you just to a certain extent, because depending on what's causing your acne, if you're not going to make that change, you won't be able to cure your acne. So as long as you do not know what's causing your acne in the first place, you can use acne treatments that help you to regulate it, to control it a bit, to reduce it. But this does not mean that you won't be able to get new ones. So always bear this in mind when working with acne treatments in general. So when it comes to salicylic acid, the Ordinary has 2 formulations. The first one is a water-based salicylic acid serum, whereas the other one is an anhydrous solution, so a water-free solution. The major difference is that the first one has a low pH, whereas the other one does not have a pH, as it does not contain any water. And the anhydrous solution is going to sit longer on the skin surface, so it needs more time to penetrate into the skin, which can have its pros and cons. The pro side would be if you have extremely sensitive skin, you can go with the anhydrous solution, as it is less likely to irritate the skin yet do the job. but the downturn may be, as it's not going to absorb that well into the skin, that you may not get all the benefits. So therefore, if you do not have extremely sensitive skin, my suggestion would be going with their water-based formulation to make sure that you get most out of it. Then again, you're going to apply it evenly all over, or if you like to, you can just use it on the affected area where you experience acne, and then you're going to leave it on. There's no need to wash it off. Give it a moment in between, especially when it comes to the anhydrous solution. I went with 1 to 2 minutes as it needs more time to get into the skin. And then if you should feel the need, follow with the ordinary natural moisturizing factors as your last step. It is an optional step, you can include it, but if you do not feel the need, it's fine to just leave it out. And again, you have the overall general guide below plus the frequency guide too. Now, when it comes to the other skincare routine with your Granactive Retinoid or retinol, so you're going to use that one on the other days when not working with the exfoliant. So the entire routine focuses on adding hydration to the skin, getting a plum effect, like a plumbing effect, especially if you're working with hyaluronic acid, and it helps to repair the skin barrier. And then additionally, you have your retinol or Granactive Retinoid, which helps to accelerate the skin cell turnover so that the skin is going to renew itself much faster so that your pores are less likely getting clogged. So that's the entire idea behind it from the acne point. But of course, with retinol, Granactive Retinoid, it has also its anti-aging benefits. So you're going to boost your collagen, and then in general, with the cell turnover, it helps to reduce fine lines and wrinkles. So the entire setup is going to be in that specific order. So again, cleansing step, I've mentioned it already. Make sure again to use a non-exfoliating acid cleanser. Remove the excess water from the skin surface afterwards. Add your hydrating serum to the skin. Now, ideally this would be one, but it wouldn't be wrong if you would combine two. This is up to your choice, but if you can, just go with one. And then after that, you're going to add your Granactive Retinoid or retinol into your routine and then apply it to the skin. Now, which one you're going to pick? Generally speaking, Granactive Retinoid is supposed to be much gentler, less irritating on the skin compared to retinol, although the ordinary retinols in squalane are in general already in a much gentler formulation because they are in squalane. And I recommend, if you're looking into your retinol, to just go with 0.2 to 0.5. The 1% may not be necessarily needed. So therefore, start always off with the lowest percentage and move your way up if over time you should feel the need. But going up in a higher percentage may also give you some side effects, as the skin may not need that much exposure to retinol in general. So nonetheless, apply to the skin, leave it on, and then again, as your last step, if you should feel the need, follow with the ordinary natural moisturizing factors afterwards, which in this routine you may not necessarily need because most of the ordinary Granactive retinoids and retinols are in squalane, so they are already quite hydrating on their own. If you have an oilier skin type, you may want to select the one in emulsion so that it's not going to be too oily on the skin. And then there you have it when it comes to the other evening skincare routine. And again, you have the overall general guide below. Now, what are you going to do on the days when not working with an exfoliant or retinol or Granactive Retinoid, depending on the frequency that you're going to adjust to? Well, you can keep it simple and basically just work with hydration. So use your hydrating serum after your cleansing step and then follow with the moisturizer if you should feel the need. And then there you have it. You can, of course, give your skin always a break if you should feel the need that you're working with too many actives. Well, after some time, give it a break of a week. Maybe if you have used it for like say 2 to 3 months, you can always give it a break of a month and then may start again depending on how your skin concerns are evolving. And of course, we are always hoping for the best, that this routine and those specific treatments are going to help you with your acne and aging concerns. But of course, keep in mind, those are treatments. Expect realistic results, and of course, especially with retinol or Granactive Retinoid, it primarily depends on how well your skin is going to convert it into retinoic acid. Now, when it comes to below the example routines, this is where you will find the skincare product descriptions. So if you now wonder, well, what treatment should I pick? How can I know about it? Well, this is where you find the entire list with a little description next to it so that you then can read through it for whom it is suitable and what their benefits are. And then based on that, you would then select the individual treatments to set up your skincare routine. After that, you will find more information on retinol retinoids, primarily how they work, if you can use them during pregnancy, and if you need to use it with a sunscreen. Sunscreen is only necessary throughout the day, but not in the evening. And then below that, you have the general skincare tips, which I have already emphasized based on the order of application, how you can do a patch test, as well as when it comes to skincare peeling, which I've emphasized in the very beginning of the video. Here you can see the tips on how you can avoid this. So if you should experience it, you know where you find that information. And below that, you have the sunscreen information. So not only when it's the best time to wear it, wearing it, choosing it based on the right labels so that you understand the labels, but you will also find an application and removal guide. And so there you have everything what you will find in the entire PowerPoint. Now again, I want to remind you that if you want to recreate the routine at home, you want to get the routine for yourself as well to look over it again, you will be able to get a copy of it if you check the description box down below. You can even save it to your device. And this is what I want to primarily share with you. Now, I do hope that you enjoyed this video and that you find this video helpful. If you did so, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up as well as share it. And if you want to support my channel, as I'm an independent YouTuber, I'm not affiliated with any skincare companies. I buy the products with my own money. I'm setting up the routines in my own time. You want to support this, you can go ahead and click on the super thanks button below this video to leave a tip, or check out the description box. There you will find a PayPal link. Additionally, for those that want to support me monthly, I'm currently setting up a membership part as well. It's not yet ready, but I want to emphasize it already in this video so that if you get maybe a notification, as I'm going to post it on my channel as well, about the membership, you want to support me monthly, you know where you can find it. And so this is now what I wanted to share with you. I do hope that you enjoyed it. If you now want to see more when it comes to the entire application, I'm going to leave some of the videos at the end of this video so that you can keep on watching. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you soon in the next one. Happy skincaring. Bye.